We are back. Okay, babes. I know I've been absent for like a little over a month. I did hop on live if y'all caught some of the lives, but as far as like pre-recorded and like I've been going. But y'all don't hear about any of that. And so ooh, turkey arms. I'm at a hotel right now because I'm at a conference. But y'all, anyways, I wanted to talk about this whole Brenay and Akira situation. My bag is in the video. If you have not heard about the Brenay, Akira, Timmy with the hips situation, and I think the other guy is Donovan, you've been under a brick wall. Like you've been asleep because this type of drama you cannot make up. You cannot script this, sis. So it's all on TikTok. All the drama's going on TikTok. And so I never paid attention to any of this until like the lawsuit started. Yes, sis. So basically, long story short, the players in today's video is Brenay, Akira, Timmy with the hips, and I think his name is Donovan. So Akira and Tim were married. They have children. Brenay was married to Donovan, and I don't think they have kids. Long story short, Akira invited Brenay into her home, and y'all already know where this is going. Brenay started messing around with this woman's husband. Now, the interesting thing to all of this, right, is that it's being said that Akira, the wife, right, to Timmy with the hips, found coyote teeth in her house.
Remember Akira said she kept finding teeth around their house that wasn't their teeth. And y'all know that they say coyote teeth is a ritual to bring back old love. Hear me out. What the fuck is Brenay? That's what Brenay was doing. She was putting a root on that man. Cause ain't no way you left Akira for Brenay. It just don't make no motherfucking sense to me. It's no way you left Akira for Brenay. And she is on some fatal attraction type shit. Cause every time that girl get her hair curly, she get her hair curly. If Akira go get braids to her ass, Brenay go and get braids to her ass, even though her hair start all the way fucking back here. Baby, it's scary, honestly. Now he gotta testify against her. That ride home gonna be one silent ass ride. She got held in contempt of court for criminal court and civil court. You know that ain't good, baby. That mean that judge can do whatever she want.
You see me, Callie?
Baby, can y'all can y'all speak up? Who on jury duty? Gotta be somebody. Tell us who on jury duty. Goddamn. Cause I feel like something is missing. Something really big is missing out this case. But we gonna find out. I'm sure Devin gonna tell that poem and he gonna tell it all.
And so now we're getting more information about how grimy Tim and Brenay were. Now remember, I told y'all that root work and witchcraft is all over this case. This is what you guys are seeing play out. Tim and Brenay sleeping with each other in their marital homes wasn't just about them being trifling, it was a ritual. Brenay was obsessed with Akira and she wanted to trade places with her. She wanted her life. She wanted Tim, she wanted the kids, she wanted the apartment, which is why she originally did not want to leave the apartment. She was planning to stay there. And Akira going to bed and them doing it in the next room was a form of manifestation. Warlocks and witches use Smex as a very powerful manifestation tool. Doing that in the marital home while the wife was still there was a power move. Her trying to establish her dominance as the wife in that home. Basically marking that man and also marking that house as her territory now. Like, this is mine now. I'm gonna walk around this place like it's mine. I'm gonna sleep with your husband like it's mine. I'm gonna do whatever I want like it's mine. And I'm also not gonna leave. I'm not gonna take orders from you anymore. Basically dethroning Akira. Like, this is not your place anymore. You are now down here. And Brenay used money, wealth, and promised him the world. She enticed him with promises of materialistic things. Now, them going to Brenay's house and doing it in her marital home was the same thing. He's asserting his dominance, taking over that apartment. When you're doing this to a man, it's different because you have to break his spirit. So when it comes to Devin, he went over there to lay with her while Devin was there, not only to like emasculate him, but also to assert his dominance, to try to switch places and to break his spirit. They wanted Devin to hear them. They wanted Devin to know what was going on because they tried to go out of their way to ensure that he did know, because that was part of the ritual, breaking the spirit of the man. And Devin was also under root work himself. So even though he may have thought he was trying to manifest something, he actually was trading places with Devin. And so now Tim is stuck. But unlike Devin, Tim is fully participating in the shenanigans. So now the obsessive and murderous spirit that was on Brenay is now on Tim. Now he hates Akira and he's lying for Brenay and just making up all this stuff and lying under oath. He's threatening his own cousin, lying and saying they aren't even related. And he's doing a lot. He is now just as delusional as Brenay. Now my theory in terms of all this is that I believe that Brenay and Tim wanted to sacrifice Devon and Akira for materialism and for the life that they thought they were going to have. But it backfired and it did not work. They tried to paint Akira out to be crazy. They were trying to do the whole switcheroo thing and repaint the whole narrative. And they also were trying to paint Devon or Devin as this abusive man who was beating on his wife and she wasn't happy and she had to leave. Rewrite the entire story, manifest the reality that they want, and leave these people with nothing but the shame they were carrying within themselves. So the ritual in itself was not only to manifest the life that they wanted and to swap destinies with these people, switch realities with these people, but to also take the shame that is inside of them and put it on Devin and Akira. They want Akira and Devin to carry around the shame. They wanted the world to look at Akira and laugh. They wanted the world to look at Devin and laugh. What's happening to them, that's what they wanted for Akira and Devon. I keep messing up his name, I'm sorry. Like a scapegoat ritual. I would say it's like a Judas ritual, but a Judas ritual is more so when they just like unalive you, betray you, and then unalive you. And I also think that Tim is frustrated because he doesn't want to be there, but he cannot leave because of the root work. A lot of people think that Tim is going to leave once the money runs out and he gets tired of Brenay, but it's because of the root work that he is even still there. He does not want to be there, and I'm telling y'all, he don't want to be there, but he's stuck. He in too deep now. That's why he's so disgusted with her. That's why he can't stand her. That's why he be so irritated. All the stuff that we saw in the videos is real, but the root work got him conflicted in his mind until he repent or until he do something to break it. And also, he has blood ties to that family now because he allegedly has a child with Corinne. So basically, Brenay's family are now Tim's handlers. I also believe that Tim's family is under this spell as well. Their involvement in this, I'm not so sure. But knowing that one of them had put Akira in a headlock, I wouldn't be so surprised if they wasn't dabbling in this stuff too. Because I don't know what her relationship was like with them prior to this. But their placement and all of the stuff that they're doing doesn't really make much sense either. And they give off witchy vibes too. Just not sure of what their involvement is. I also believe that she was trying to manifest a child and she could not get pregnant. And that was frustrating her really, really bad. She did this in attempts to hurt Akira because she knew that Akira had a miscarriage. And she knew it would cause her more suffering to find out that she had a child after Akira lost hers. All of this is very premeditated and extremely calculated. When Brenay could not get pregnant and Tim saw Devin do a complete 180, that made both of them extremely furious because they're supposed to be suffering right now. They're like, dang, we did everything, did this, we did that, and they're still doing very well. How is it that they don't have shame? How is it that they're not embarrassed? How is it that they're not suffering? How is it that people are coming at us and not them? And then they try to take to the internet and try to make it work in their favor again and say, okay, let's just start spewing out a bunch of lies to see if we can still project that shame onto them. But it wasn't working. It was making them more angry. Tim even started developing a whole bunch of obscene aggression towards his own cousin. Because how is it that I was trying to use you as a scapegoat, but now you're looking better, doing better, you got more money, more opportunities, and I'm still stuck here with this girl? This is not how it's supposed to go. I was supposed to sacrifice y'all so I could have money, wealth, and riches. I'm supposed to be the one that's loved by the internet, not you. I'm supposed to be the one that's popular. I'm supposed to be the one that's supported. I'm supposed to be one with the brand deals. I'm supposed to be the one with the nice body. And you know another reason why Tim is jealous of Devin? Because Devin doesn't have any responsibilities. Only person that Devin has to worry about is himself. Devin had to worry about Akira, his kids, and now he has to worry about Brenay. He wants so badly Devin's life. It infuriates him to see him living it and that he's not going to be the scapegoat he wanted him to be. I'm telling y'all, root work, once you see it everywhere. When you start learning about it or God opens your eyes to it, you're like, dang, it be that deep sometimes. And honestly, I knew a woman like Brenay who did this to somebody's wife, except they didn't live in North Carolina where she could sue. Her husband did a complete flip on her and was talking just like Tim. Was being mean to his wife and was just talking crazy all the time, saying, I never loved you, I don't love you. Just crazy. And it was because that girl did root work on him. And that girl acted and sounded just like Brenay, except this girl was like Haitian or something. She had like some type of Caribbean background. But yeah, this is a scapegoat ritual, love spell gone wrong. And Brenay hates Akira, but she also hates her sister Corinne. And Brenay wanted children. She wanted the life that Akira had with Tim. She wanted to be his wife and be by his side and have all the family stuff because she has fertility issues. She also wanted to have a baby by him because guess what? Her sister has a baby by Tim, allegedly. And she not only was trying to make Akira suffer, she also was trying to one-up her sister. In order to one-up her sister, she has to swap places with Akira. And the only way for her to like win is for her to be married and have children with Tim. Put the shame on Akira, put the shame on Devin, rewrite the narrative, get all the wealth and riches and be on the top, and leave her sister Corinne in the basement at her mama's house. That's how deep this is. I even saw a comment section under another video and somebody was like, I'm too African for this. This looks like witchcraft. Cause it is. It is. I'm telling y'all, it sounds far-fetched, but it's not. And she also did extra root work because she needs Tim to be in love with her. But that's not working either. We can see that with his disgust and irritation towards her in those videos. And that's what usually happens when you do love spells or you do some type of root work on somebody and it goes wrong. You get the opposite effect. They become obsessive. They become angry. They become abusive, rebellious even. Yeah, they may actually stay physically put where they can't leave. All that love that you want from them, not gonna get it. And she really wants Tim's heart on top of everything else because all those other women that she's trying to get rid of have had everything else that she's trying to take. So Akira already got his last name and has already married him. So marrying him and having his last name is not enough. Akira already has his kids. So does her sister Corinne. So her having kids is like, yeah, okay, I get to one up them that way. But the ultimate get back is being the one who he's really in love with. Being the one he really wants to be with. Her being better than Akira and Corinne. Trying to use Devin and Akira as scapegoats while also proving a point to her sister that she's the one who not only will have his children his last name and that life with him where he has all these riches and all this stuff, but she's the one who has his heart, even if she used witchcraft or practical witchcraft to get it. And lastly, do y'all remember when Akira said that Brenay tried to come there and pray for her? After all this happened, like Brenay and Tim was like, oh, she's trying to pray for you. Let her pray for you. She went to lay hands on Akira. Pray for her. Why? She was trying to do a transfer. That's what she was trying to do. And she needed to touch Akira to do that. And Akira was like, nah, not happening. I'm telling y'all, it is that deep, allegedly.
So it sounded like Brenay might have done some root work to take this woman's man. Some love spells, right? So it ended up Akira and Timmy with the Hips got a divorce. And I'm saying Timmy with the Hips because I just got finished watching Yanni. And she was calling him Timmy with the Hips. So anyways, so what ended up happening is that Akira and her man divorced, Brenay and her man divorced. And I'm kind of like jumping, but I'm literally just giving my commentary, my opinion. If y'all want more deep dive, it's all on TikTok. You can watch Yanni's videos where she's doing like 2-3 hour lives, like covering all of this foolishness. So Akira, they get a divorce, and so she sues Brenay because this is a law in North Carolina. It's not in a lot of states, like 7 states, I believe. They don't have that in my state because I would know. But alienation of affection, right? And so she sues this woman, and I guess this has been an ongoing litigation for several years. I need to get some water. I think the lighting might actually be better in here. I think. So anyways, so she ended up suing Brenay for alienation of affection. This was an ongoing litigation for years. They will pop up on my FYP every so often talking about this Brenay and Akira situation, but I would just keep scrolling because I didn't really care. But I didn't know how juicy and unfortunate, and I know it's unfortunate for Akira, but I didn't know how crazy all of this was. So Akira ended up winning her lawsuit, and Brenay was found liable for alienation of affection, basically taking this woman's husband, and she has to now pay Akira over $1 million. And so Brenay was so bold about it, was like, oh, well, she'll never see this money, right?
I don't know, but she'll probably never see it.
1.5 million behind 5% of a nigga. I would be. Tim couldn't breathe around me without me firing on him. Either firing on him or sitting my pussy right on his face. You either gonna be eating something all day or I'm gonna be beating something all day. Because Miss Thing will be working that off the rest of your life, niece. I was, because I believe the jury is 8 women and 4 men. And I just feel like the conversation of alienation, of affection. I was wondering how the men on the jury were going to lean into that, especially like men in the South. I was interested in that. And then I know Tim was on the stand crying and shit like that. But children shoot that bitch. 1.5 million. Now it's okay. So what's the conversation now? You can't stay off of social media. This is how you make your income. You got your sister doing all those things. Your next call should be to Zeus Network, cause TLC ain't about to touch this. They'll put them white folks up there. What is that man that had the like 5 wives and they'll put them up there and they'll put that chaos up there, but they ain't gonna let black folks do it. But you need to be calling Zeus and getting a nasty deal. Call Lemmy and be like, listen, I need to make this amount of money and I need y'all to pay me this so I can pay this, like come up with a payment plan, and then you pay me this so I can have some monthly income coming in. And then you need to get with a PR team to build a fucking redemption arc. I just saw Mecca talking about, on their podcast, they do like a segment where they give people PR advice. And someone had asked them to do it about Brenay. And Mecca was saying, like, PR work is not ethical. Like, to warn people, because it's not. It's about spinning the story. It's about owning the narrative. Bitch, the way I would come through on her team and wear this out right now, bitch, that's what you got to. You have to get into problem solving and forward motion spirit. But I'm gagged. I'm interested to see what the church sermon is going to be about on Sunday. Are the children going to preach about restoration at the tune of $1.5 million? My God, on today.
She did her interview after and Brenay represented herself. She did not have a counsel of record for the jury trial. And then she talks about, she's never going to get this money. Babes, there are ways to enforce that money judgment. But now she has since found the pill and all those other things. I really don't think Brenay is going to get what she's asking for. I don't know what the assignment of errors that she's basically saying happened during this jury trial, because I didn't keep up with it like that. But I'm going to put in clips and stuff like that. Y'all know how I do throughout this video.
I already know I take notes, so y'all don't have to. A lot of people don't know about the Brenay situation. They only know about the affair and how she was flaunting that girl's husband all over social media. So let's get into the history of Brenay. Everybody knows that she went viral. Well, some people don't know, so let's bring that up. She went viral for having these crazy nails, clicking them and everything, and eating all the time and just showing her life. But the real video that went viral was the Get Ready With Me for Church video, okay? And then she ended up with millions of followers. She has now 2.9 million followers. So let's get into it. Brenay Kennard. We're not gonna go by Miss Montague or Mrs. Montague. This is Kennard. This is the mistress. All right. This is a harlot. I look at her as a harlot. I read the Proverbs very heavily, and this is what you call a harlot. She is a clamorous woman, loud and stubborn, and does not set foot in her own house. She's in other people's house. She wrecks homes, even her own. So Brenay is a TikTok influencer currently being sued for sleeping with her friend Akira's husband, Timothy Montague, and then marrying him, ruining her friend's marriage through alienation of affection. Brenay has, at this moment, 2.9 million followers. You can see that she has that at Life of Brenay. That's the name of her account. And also, she went viral once again for the Get Ready With Me for Church with her big breasts and her crazy nails. Also, side note, Apparently, she had a GoFundMe for a breast reduction that she never got, and people put thousands of dollars in her pocket. And there was one donor who donated to her, who also stated that she was wondering when she was getting that breast reduction because she sent her $1,000, but she looked for the GoFundMe and the GoFundMe has been deleted. Anyway, she's from North Carolina, or lives in North Carolina. She states that she's from B-More. She always saying you, few, you know, so people pick on her for that. In May of 2021, she married Devin Mayo, okay? And at 14 years old, she used to date his cousin, Timothy Montague, who is her friend Akira's husband, or former husband. This is the husband in question. They all hung out together. I mean, they did double dates. They did social media posts, TikTok dances. They spent holidays together. They did everything together. This is Brenay, Devin, Timothy, and Akira, the friend, which is the former wife of Timothy Montague. Brenay and Akira were friends, okay? Well, Akira was a friend to her. Brenay was not a friend to Akira. Akira and Timothy were happily married with 2 children. Devin and Brenay, they have no children. Timothy and Devin are first cousins. Nobody denied that or objected in court, so we're going to go with they are first cousins. Timothy introduced Devin to Brenay, allegedly. In some way, somehow, Timothy becomes Brenay's social media manager. I don't know how that came into play. I'm just giving y'all a synopsis. Timothy and Brenay gets very, very, very close. Now, around roughly February 6th of 2024, this was a video. The Life of Brenay posted a video talking about how she was going to Wilson to see her nephew play. Her nephew, because she is claimed auntie at this time. Devin and Brenay are claimed auntie and uncle for Timothy and Akira's children. Now, she went to go see her nephew play basketball. On that very day is the same day that Akira found those videos, because she was trying to file her taxes, and she found those files in the personal computer, and they went to the game, and Akira confronted her. Now, before that was even said and done, one day Brenay claims that Devin was abusive. She said that she needed some time, that she couldn't hang out with her family. She needed to stay with Akira and Tim for some time. And she claimed that her family, she didn't want to stay with them because they want her money. And they treat her badly. They mistreat her because she's not the prettier twin. Corinne is. Oh yeah. She does have a twin sister named Corinne. She is on social media as well. Akira allows Brenay to stay in her home, in the front room, in the den, or something like that. Brenay ends up, I don't know how soon this came about, but Brenay ends up staying in her home and then asks Devin for a divorce. The reason why she asked Devin for a divorce is because Devin began to question the validity and the stability of their relationship, because she was over there at Tim and Akira's home for quite some time. And then at this time, while she's living in the home, she started to notice some red flags. She started to notice things that Brenay was doing that was crossing boundaries, like making Tim's plate first and recording Tim a lot more often than, I mean, this was going on for quite some time. If you look back into her account, you'll see that it seems like her and Tim had such a great relationship. But mind you, she would always tell her husband, Devin, that she couldn't stand Timothy. She couldn't stand Tim. She hated him. And she used to date him back in the day, but she don't like him. She hates him. Blah, 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 blah. There's also allegedly Corinne is also has a child by Tim or something, or he used to deal with her sister back in the past. Anyway, this got so out of hand that Akira felt so isolated because of all of this stuff, because of what Brenay was doing, crossing boundaries, that she began to speak to her family about it. I'm talking about that Akira started getting piercings. She felt like she was going through anxiety and depression and stuff like that. And she was just feeling isolated from her own family because of what Brenay was doing when she was interrupting their family household. And she began to speak to her family about these problems. So one day, Akira's grandmother comes by that home, and mind Tim had already told Akira how he felt about Brenay. He was downplaying it. He was gaslighting her the whole time because she would question him about these things. She would tell her that Brenay was making her feel uncomfortable with her being there all the time, this and third. And Tim would downplay it and say, oh no, there ain't nothing going on. She a nasty, filthy, nasty girl. Da 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 da. She leave rappers and stuff all over the place, and she was leaving their house nasty as well. So when the grandmother comes over to the home after Akira speaks about the problems to her family, the grandmother comes by. She notices the dynamic and the filth in the home, and Brenay was trashy and nasty and filthy. The grandmother throws Brenay out, and Brenay says no. Tim wants me here. And next thing you know, when she gets out, Tim follows her. Okay, they ride out into the sunset into the car. They both leave into the car. Both leave together in the car that Akira paid for. Well, really, her family paid for. Then, this lawsuit happens, the alienation of affection. Brenay denies all the claims. She continued to prolong this case. This case has been going on for about a few years now. Brenay was subpoenaed to provide documentation like bank statements and stuff like that. She never settled out of court. She missed a lot of deadlines. She divorced Devin, married Timothy, got a new house, new car. She showcased and broadcasted this all over the internet during this time. And here we are, November 2025, November 3rd is when day one of the trial. So that is a brief synopsis or summary of Brenay. And also a bonus. At this time, when she realized that this stuff was going on between Brenay and Tim, Akira started to ask Brenay to stop texting her husband. Brenay texts back and said, not your husband, with a kissy face emoji. Also, Akira did ask Brenay to stop posting her children online. Akira's very recluse, very reserved. She didn't want her children being posted often like that. Brenay continued, and she refused. And she would speak on Princess a lot. I found this out last night, that she would speak on Princess very often. And she went to the graduation for one of the children, and she brought her whole entire family. Brenay brought her sister brought her children, and she brought her mother. And Akira has 3 restraining orders on Brenay. And Brenay recently was jailed for it because of it. Brenay is really stalking this girl. She's been stalking Akira ever since. So that's just a little synopsis before we get into the deep history of Brenay and the connection of Akira and the connection of Tim and Devin and how this all applies to the proverb. I already know I take no.
The Brenay versus Akira lawsuit is over. Brenay lost. She has to pay Akira $1.75 million. Everybody is making fun of Brenay, but I'm not. I'm actually on Brenay's side, and I think that Brenay can come up with that money. First off, Brenay has 3 million followers. That's a huge platform. That's half the battle right there. Now all she has to do is find something to sell. I think Brenay should come out with her own line of super heavy duty extra strength bras and maybe a back brace too. I think Brenay can come out with a whole lingerie collection actually. She's clearly a seductress. Brenay also knows how to get and keep a man. Most of her haters couldn't get a man to change a light bulb in their house. Brenay got a man to marry her and then cheated on her husband with somebody else's husband. When you can get your own husband and another woman's husband, that means you 10 steps ahead of everybody else. You need to start selling courses. Write an ebook about how to fuck somebody else's husband. Brenay's gonna have that money in no time. And Brenay, don't let all these people get to you. They just jealous of you because they want to be you and they mad because they don't have all the men that you have. Is People magazine writing articles about them? No.
This is an insane story. So some of the things I heard from this jury trial is that at one point, Brenay was having sex in Akira's home, in Akira's bed, and Akira's children were present. And once she got done fucking this woman's man, she asked one of the kids to come and bring some baby wipes to wipe her nasty body down after she just got finished sitting in this woman's home with this woman's, the thing is, no one seems to care. I'm not talking about Akira, but it just seems like Brenay don't care about this woman's kids. Because apparently Brenay was posting this woman's kids on her TikTok. She was referring to Akira at some point as the baby mama.
First things first, PSA, you're hearing it from the horse's mouth. I do not have any hatred in my heart for Tim's baby mom. I don't. I was auntie to those kids, a name that I didn't give myself. Just to throw that out there. I was like, hey, I want to call myself auntie. No, name that was given to me. Okay, that's for two. That if I don't like the baby mom, I don't like the kids. I love those kids, even like I said, when my position was auntie. I love those kids. Now that my position is, and it is stepmom, I may not be fond and may not like the things that the baby mom is doing, not only to me, but also to the baby dad. I don't like that. I can say that I don't like it, but I'm not going to sit here on camera and to y'all, and I will say it to her and whoever else I need to, you know, if when time is right, that I don't have any hatred towards you. Because at the end of the day, we all are going to have to co-parent those kids, and even my children, because their kids, the baby mom and the baby dad kids, are going to be siblings to my kids, not have a problem with the baby mom. Where is that? Like, why that don't apply to the baby dad? Or whoever they dealing with don't like the dad. Does that mean that they don't like the kids because the kids are coming? Kids? I'm not understanding. Really hate this girl. Everybody who's in the situation know that. They know I don't have hatred in my heart. Angry, upset about certain things, absolutely. But I don't hate her. But let's say that I did hate her. I don't, but let's say that I did. If I did hate her, why does that mean, or why does that equal me not loving the kids? That doesn't make any sense. Like, if I didn't like the kids, I wouldn't be marrying the dad. Because guess what? That means I'm going to have to be a part of the family. Even though my now position is the stepmom, the bonus mom, I still love them. The love has not died down. A lot of people will be grateful and thankful to have another parent, that the parents are not together and now they're remarrying, being with someone else. They will be grateful to have another parent to actually genuinely love. I mean, show actual love to kids, to those babies or whoever kids.
Referring to herself as the stepmom, it is a no, ma'am. She is the ex-wife and the mother of this man's children. Very disrespectful woman. And so, at some point, Akira's grandmother, before like the lawsuit, before the affair came out, Akira's grandmother went to her home and basically noticed that Brenay was a nasty woman, which I can see that energy. I can see that spirit on her. Like, she has like a Jezebel spirit, a spirit of greed, a spirit of overconsumption. I can just see that on her with how she carries herself, with the nails. And I think that's how she went viral on TikTok, is because of her nails. Like, she just has a spirit of greed. Of course, the Jezebel spirit. And, you know, I am of the belief she could have possibly done some root work. Now that I'm hearing about these coyote teeth that Akira found in her home, like, and they're in North Carolina, so they be doing root work over there. I mean, they do root work everywhere, but I'm inclined to believe that a love spell was done, especially how rapid all of this like went down. Sis, that's why you'll never, if you don't learn nothing else from my channel, that's why you don't ever invite another person into your home in that manner, and you don't talk about your marriage to other people unless it's a counselor, therapist, or someone.
Now, when I was a small girl, I'm talking about a small girl coming up, I used to hear some of my mama conversations, right? But I remember my mama always telling me, Rita, when you get a husband, you don't allow your friends to be around your husband. She said, because you know what? They're watching them. She said, I'm telling you, they're going to be watching them. I'm like, you know, I'm young. I ain't going to hear nothing about that. She said, they didn't want to study all his habits and see how much he loved you and what he's doing with you. So I'm like, cool. She said, Rita, don't allow him inside your house. She said, because your friend will take your man. Now, the Rita that I am, I'm like this. If you can take him, then he needs to be gone, right? The other thing is, see, I'm a wise woman, though. The Bible strictly says, don't let your left hand, come on now, know what your right hand is doing. So whatever you doing in your home is not your friend's business. She didn't tell me that because She thought I would grow up to be insecure, because my mama know me. I don't play with no insecurity stuff. But let me tell y'all something. Y'all better learn to listen to the wise. Keep your so-called friends out your house. They don't need to hear your conversation with your man. That's your man, okay? That's between you and your man. And then the bad thing about it, when your man do something to your friend, you tell him that. So guess what? She gonna try to do something to spite you, something better. Come on now, don't act like y'all ABC around here, okay? So my thing is, keep your business to yourself. That's between you and your man. Not you and your man and your girlfriend, okay? Y'all better get yourselves together and stop all this, girl. He did this and he did. Okay, you're still with him. But what you're doing, you're opening up the door for the devil to creep right on in, because you keep talking all your business and you keep letting them all in your house. Oh, girl, come on in. No, you're not coming in here, though. You're not coming in here, though, because y'all play that. But you know what? I'm older. And so the older supposed to be wiser and teach the younger. Now it's up to y'all to listen to what this old lady right here said.
Because I guarantee Akira probably was talking to Brenay about her man and their situations. And, you know, Brenay found an opportunity to scurry up in there and wreck the home. She's just... And no one's really talking about Timmy with the hips, because he, you know, he is to blame as well. But I think a lot of us is just so overly disgusted in Brenay and her response to all of this, and Tim, because while this lawsuit was ongoing, I guess they still was like opening up about their relationship on social media, was making posts and all of these other things. And I think at some point Brenay was basically saying that Akira kind of like gave her approval to the relationship. But you can't force someone to stay with you. If your spouse does not want to be with you, you can't force them to stay, for the most part, if they found someone else, especially if they found somebody else they want to be with. So I felt like that was a weak argument on Brenay's end to say something like that. But child, it is a mess. Okay, and it's too much for me to unravel my video. So a lot of people made posts about it, videos and stuff, because this has been ongoing for years, babes. You know, the situation with Brenay and Timmy with the hips and Akira and all of that. And it's quite unfortunate like all of this had to happen to this woman. Because there's something about Brenay's spirit that just gives me nasty woman. Because even when you look at her now ex-husband Donovan, like he seems like he looks a lot healthier, a lot better. He's slimmed down. Akira looks a lot better. Like she's gotten healthier, slimmed down. So, and she's just, you know, her and Timmy with the hips seem like they're steady on the decline and not taking care of themselves. Like that's just how it comes off. And I think at even some point, Akira's grandmother was like how Brenay was nasty and not cleaning up the home. And I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure Akira's grandmother was praying for all of this to be revealed and to get this woman out the home. And when they did get Brenay out of the home, Timmy with the hips left with her. Now, I may tell a joke, but I will never tell a lie. And that's why it is so imperative to be mindful of the type of people you surround yourself with and having your home, especially if you're married. Because if someone, especially, I'm going to say this, if someone see how good you got it, they don't want a piece of what you got. This is literally destiny swapping to its core and root work, which is going to backfire on Brenay. Like, I feel like when you do root work for a love spell, that look at the situation, the video I made several months ago with the couple where it was a murder-suicide. I can't remember their name, but they were on live when it happened. That was potentially a love spell gone wrong. Same thing in this situation. They have this murderous energy on the person that get the root work done on them. It's a lot. Anyways, let me know what you guys' thoughts are about this whole situation, y'all. It is so crazy. And please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye.